Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today, we're jumping into some malicious compliance. Our first story today comes to us from Older Sparky. The free McIce cream event, A Sparky's Tale. Let's jump right in. The Australian country town I once lived in got a golden arches, drive-through, dine-in, cafe, 24 hours open, the works. Most people in town were pretty stoked since the other nearest one was a 4-hour drive away. I myself prefer real food and coffee, so only went there for the cookies. One Friday, a couple years after it was open, I received a call from the principal refrigeration contractor for all the stores in the region. He was at the store in our town to look at the broken down ice cream machine. We already did other electrical and miscellaneous subcontracting work for him at a Fresh Food People grocery store chain and had a good working relationship. He explained that he didn't have the right parts on him to fix the ice cream machine, but knew exactly what the problem was. He asked if he sent the parts, could I go and swap them out to get the machine working? It would save him an 8-hour drive for maybe 1 hour of work. After agreeing that he owed me a bottle of Jack's for it on top of the invoice, everything was set up. The courier and I met up around 9 a.m. the next morning, Saturday. With parts in hand, off I went to triglyceride hell. The store manager was off and Darren was the assistant manager on duty. I hadn't met Darren before and my first impression, while explaining why I was there, was that he was a little high-strung. Right away he asked how long it would take. When I shrugged and said an hour-ish, maybe, he did that overly dramatic, exasperated sigh thing and told me to go ahead. Next time you go to a McBS, all these machines are packed next to each other on a benchtop with staff shoulder to shoulder in front of them. How the F am I going to even get the thing open to work on it? Have a look at all the machines behind the counter. It's a bit cozy back there, and I'm not a short or small bloke. This was going to be so annoying. Should have made it 2 bottles. Oh, and the effing alarms. I never realized that everything in those stores beeps or makes a sound constantly, maddeningly. The only mitigation to this crap job was that Jack, the teenage son of a contractor mate, was cooking. He brightened my day by giving me crap when I complained about a dropped screw or whatever. I gave him crap for having a stupid face. It was nice. Except for Darren. It felt like he didn't want me there at all. Without warning, he shoved past me to get things, opened cupboards into me. None of the other staff did that. He also asked, "How much longer?" every 5 minutes. To these type of people, I generally only reply, "When it's done, mate." That seemed to annoy him, which was also nice. Honestly, there was only one thing I was looking forward to from this job, apart from leaving the store. So within an hour, the ice cream machine parts were swapped out and I was ready to put a bag of product in to make ice cream. I cannot, in good conscience and deference to people who actually like the ice cream, quote unquote, say what that bag looked like to me. It is, however, one of the most expensive liquids in the world. One of the staff, Diane, assured me the hopper was cleaned out already and ready for quote unquote product. So she went and got a bag. Now, my instructions from refrigeration contractor for testing the machine was to wait for the green light, then pull the product through to see that it was okay. 1 bag of product was allowed for testing, but I shouldn't need that much, he said. Maybe like a big drink cup full. He also said that the store wasn't allowed to use the machine until I deemed it fixed and the product was pulling okay. Diane watched the cup filling and said that the ice cream looked normal and okay. I had some with a spoon and it seemed alright. However, at that point, I'd never, in my decades of life, made a soft serve ice cream cone. Sure, I've scooped, I've even sliced. I've watched it being pulled, but I've never pulled it myself. This was the thing I had been looking forward to. I thought I did well on my first go and it was very fun. I held my first wonky cone up like a trophy for Diane to involuntarily laugh. Bloody teenagers. She got a cone and showed me how. I did another cone without improvement and received possibly sincere commiserations and encouragement from Diane. We were going to run out of bench space to keep these cones if I was going to make more, because there is no bench space. So I looked around in the store and saw a mate sitting with his 2 kids. It seemed only logical that I offer them free ice cream instead of wasting it. Well, the 2 old age pensioners in the table next to theirs asked if there was a chance of free cones. Ha! Was there ever? It was as I was pulling the 2 cones for the ladies that Darren saw me, using maybe 1 penny worth of cones, when I should have been using a drink cup or something and throwing it away. He came over to the machine and pretty sternly, rudely said, "You're not supposed to be using cones to test. You can't use cones. If the machine's fixed, you can go." I told him I wasn't one of his staff and not to talk to me like that. "Free ice cream for everyone," Darren said, quite condescendingly and not so quietly. "No, you're not a staff member. You're just an effing contractor." It sounded like he knew what happened when he was saying the tractor syllables. The volume dropped a bit, then his face went a little blank, then he started looking around. The staff and customers at the front counter were looking at him. Before his comment, I was about to announce the machine fixed and ready for service, but I was allowed a whole bag and was having fun, so F him and his cones. I just looked at him calmly and said, "I'm not sure the machine is ready for service. I'm just gonna pull the rest of the test bag through to make sure." He walked away to the office. Diane said we were going to need more cones. Just after 11 a.m. on that Sunday morning, almost everyone had gotten free cones. I started with the people who'd heard the exchange and told them sorry they saw that, but hey, free ice cream. It caused quite the stir among the kids present. The people walking in the door got welcome cones to much surprise. By the time the bag ran out, Diane said I was almost good enough to work there. No, Diane, no. The beeping is relentless. As far as I'm aware, no one complained about Darren's language. He didn't get fired, I know that. I'm glad for that too, because after only having worked there for a little bit, I can 100% understand how people could get snappy. My refrigeration contractor mate never said anything about it, other than thank you with the bottle. I never set foot in the place again to work or otherwise. I did get drive-through cookies though. Thank you for reading. Well, a little food for thought after this one. Did you know that in the United States and in Canada as well, you actually can't call what comes out of a soft serve machine ice cream because it actually doesn't qualify? There was a lawsuit about it from dairy producers, and it is not and will never be ice cream. Also, I just wanted to quickly mention that manager Darren sounds like the kind of person that as soon as they got into that position, everybody else there they thought was below them, like scum under their feet. That's the kind of manager you definitely don't want to work for. The one where you want to get your friends together and say, let's all walk out, on Friday evening, right before the dinner rush. Do me a quick favor and take a look down below the video. If that subscribe button's still red, it means you're actually not subscribed to the KCC channel. Please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories. Our next story today comes to us from Ancient Educator 76. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Let's jump right in. There was a time when I worked for a convenience store. I used to call it an inconvenience store as a joke, even before I was aware that Gary Larson made the cartoon about an inconvenience store that had a whole bunch of things impossibly hard to reach, etc. Classic cartoon, by the way. Anyway, this particular store had it all, and we did it all. Pizza, propane, we had a 20,000 gallon tank or whatever size, 12 feet tall, gas, and in this story, it has a car wash to boot. This car wash is quite unique in its operation. I have a 4-foot cone barrier that is placed in front of the opening until someone drives up to the 2-lane entrance that quickly narrows to 1 and turns, about 55 total feet of length. Once someone drives up in one of the lanes, I hear a bell. If I'm the only one in the store, I need to finish ringing up whoever I'm with at the register, apologize to the next guest, and then go outside to the car wash to guide the customer in. It is truly the strangest way to operate a convenience store, hence my aforementioned snark. So anyway, bell rings, I've got a pickup pulling up very, very near the propane tank. Great idea, by the way. I just rang up a customer with no line after her, and someone is about to enter the store. They look trustworthy, they are smiling. I know this isn't a good measure, but it is in this instance. So I say, hey, I'll be right back, gotta take care of the car wash and propane. Customer was totally cool about it. The second I finish this conversation at the front of the store, I see and hear at the same time some jackwad laying on his horn looking directly at me. I knew he was a jackwad based on his face, typical jackwad facial expression, Like he is absolutely befuddled and stumped as to why someone isn't giving him a back massage while driving his car through the car wash right this second. Anyway, maybe I'm reading into it. Nope. He was so obnoxious about everything right from the get-go. He paid at the machine, the bar let him up, and now he's speeding around a short corner, cutting off the second lane car. They were there first, I'm deciding in my head, and looking like he's going right into the car wash. The car wash is blocked by a 25-pound thing that could only be described as a traffic barrier, not official, but it stands in place and is reflective. This guy does not have tinted windows, but he was acting like I couldn't see him. I did the whole wave both arms intermittently back and forth in a large circular motion to get his attention thing, as I realized he's about to drive right over the barrier. I'm half jogging through the gravel and rocks that border the building and the car wash lane as I'm waving him down, and last second, he rolls his window down, passenger side, where I'm desperately trying to not be right now, and I start to say to him, "Hey, you can't go in yet. There's a barrier, it'll damage your car." I may have said F up or screw up or mess up instead of damage, pick which one, but I meant damage. His retort that shouldn't have existed, "Don't tell me what to effing do. You can't tell me what to do, butthole." I guess he's right. It's malicious compliance time. Not that I would have had the opportunity to really do much more telling than I already did. I clammed right up at that exact picosecond. All of a sudden, I can't speak. It's like his behavior combined with the stress of working multiple jobs somehow created this vortex, this magic wand that forced me to be unable to do anything except point directly at the front of his car. So as he continues through the car wash, dragging our barrier, it getting caught on the little hole that is located dead center in the middle of his car as he attempts to drive through, he gets stuck. Clacks and repetitive clicks are occurring that are way louder than the usual car wash clicks, and all I can do is point, slowly and repetitively, like the blinking sign in Beetlejuice, and hope he looks to me for help. He doesn't. The advancer finally catches his wheel, a bad thing at this point, and continues to carry his car, slightly cockeyed, down the car wash system. Finally, as he seems to realize his predicament, he begins to roll his window back down again, just as the biggest flappers start whipping the car and him. He was in such a sudden panic that he rolled down both windows now, and he got the soap in his mouth his mother would have otherwise given him for being such a mother effing potty mouth. Physics finally did what I would have tried to do and got his car over the barrier, leaving it a mangled mess as he continued on down the lane. By this time, I was behind his car at the opening of the car wash. Finally, I didn't want to go near this car, my spidey senses were a tingle, as I saw him speed through the wash, shooting through the other side, jumping out of his car as he quickly laid on his side and back in order to see the damage to his car. He starts to yell across the length of the car wash, something like, "Are you kidding me? Look at this effing crap." But just as he was about to say more things, the beautiful ring of the car wash being activated drowned out his anger-filled whatever he was going to say. I take a breath, pick up the mangled mess of a traffic blockade, and toss it aside as I invite the second car on in. The customer waiting to go inside the store looked at me smiling, almost laughing as he shook his head. Once I got the second car through, confirmation that no damage was done to our machine, just the blockade, I walked towards the customer who happened to provide me with a gift even greater than the 20 he'd handed me. A good old, "Hey, don't worry about that, butthole. I saw the whole thing and I'll tell your manager what went down. Nothing you could do, man. Thank you and exactly." Well, OP added on at the end, he has a little bit of an update. It says, "Worst update ever. Now it's a today I effed up." This guy successfully sued Couche-Tard for enough money for his smug butt to come strutting his rude butt on back here. He was a regular car wash customer and thought this made him entitled. I guess we really effed up his car. And of course, because people in the comments didn't really know what he was talking about when he said Couche-Tard, he added another edit that says, "When I say sued successfully, I mean that this dude walked away with money. Not sure how much, but I know the manager and I were not on speaking terms after that. Her hands were tied during the whole ordeal because firing me would have admitted guilt according to her. and this guy kept driving around our store, almost looking for me, and I never figured out why. To this day, I can't figure it out. Anyway, part of the settlement gave him basically free car washes for life and free reign of all of our stores. The settlement wasn't an undisclosed amount, just undisclosed to me. I think it was $8,000. Totally couche-tarded. For those of you who don't know, Couche-Tard is the French company that owns all of the Mac stores, Becker's stores, and Circle K stores, and I believe there's a couple other ones under that umbrella as well. My wife and I actually used to run a Mac store, so we're very familiar with this company. Oh, and also for those of you who aren't French and don't understand the French language, I mean, I'm Canadian and I don't understand a lot of it myself. Couche-Tard literally translates to stay up late. Check out both OPs linked in the description down below. I thank you for watching, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.